Hurry before I lose control? He stepped closer and the ground trembled. Kale's boots crunched against the metal-grated floor of the mining colony. The vibrations started subtly at first, a low rumble beneath his feet. He frowned, glancing at the readouts on his handheld scanner. Energy readings from the core were spiking in ways no one could predict. "Kale, are you seeing this?" called Jara, his engineering partner, her voice tense over the intercom. "I see it," he replied, trying to steady his own rising panic. "The core, it's awake." No one outside of the engineering team understood what that meant. Humans had been mining erythroprime for years, extracting rare minerals and experimenting with deep-energy sources buried beneath the planet's surface. But nothing in any of their simulations had prepared them for this. The core wasn't just energy. It was something alive. A shiver ran through Kale as he stepped closer to the enormous chamber where the energy core rested. It floated above the ground, suspended by invisible forces. Streams of blue and violet light danced across its surface, flickering like the heartbeat of some alien creature. Every now and then a tremor shook the platform beneath his feet. "Kale, can you hear me?" Jara's voice was closer now. "Yes, I hear it too." His own words felt hollow, because this was no machine fault. This was a warning. Suddenly, a voice echoed inside his mind. Not through his helmet, not through the comms, inside his head. "Hurry before I lose control?" Kale froze, dropping his scanner. The voice was both urgent and fearful, impossible to ignore. His pulse raced. "Jara, did you hear that?" he asked, though his voice trembled. There was a pause, then slowly she said, I don't think it's coming from the comms." Kale swallowed hard. This was the intelligence they had never expected. The core, buried for millennia, was awake, and it was aware of them. The tremors grew stronger, rattling the walls of the chamber. Lights flickered. Equipment clattered to the floor. In the control room above, alarms began to wail. Engineers ran to stabilize systems, but Kale knew it was pointless. The energy core was beyond any of their machines. He stepped closer, feeling the heat and vibration in his chest. The voice repeated, more insistent this time, "Hurry before I lose control?" "Kale, you need to pull back," Jara shouted, but he didn't. He had to understand it. He had to help it, whatever it was. The alien consciousness, or perhaps it was some ancient AI long forgotten, seemed to respond to his presence. The room shivered and the ground beneath them cracked slightly. Dust and small debris rained down from the ceiling. Kale could see fractures forming in the walls of the chamber. "Listen to me," he yelled at the voice in his mind. "Tell me what to do." There was a pause, then a sudden rush of images and sensations he could barely comprehend. Currents of energy, flashes of alien landscapes, and equations of physics that made his head spin. And then, clearly, one message. "Stabilize the core, integrate your pattern." Kale shook his head, trying to process. He was an engineer, trained in machinery and systems, not in merging with alien consciousness. Yet the message made a strange kind of sense. The core wasn't purely destructive. It was unstable because it lacked a balance. If he could somehow connect with it, perhaps they could survive. "Jara," he said, voice firm despite the tremor in his hands. "I need you to cover me. Help me get the stabilizers online. This thing, it's alive and it's asking for our help." Jara's voice trembled but held determination. "I'm with you, Kale, just be careful." The next few minutes were chaos. Equipment sparked as tremors continued. Robots designed for heavy mining clattered and toppled. The lights above flickered and dimmed, casting eerie shadows across the walls. Kale and Jara worked together, climbing over debris, running cables, and calibrating the stabilizers as instructed by the alien voice. Every step closer to the core made the tremors worse. The ground seemed to respond to their movements, almost as if it were alive too. Kale felt a strange connection forming between himself and the core. Each pulse of energy sent sensations through his body, pain, yes, but also a strange clarity, a rhythm he could almost follow. Suddenly, a massive tremor split the floor beneath them. Kale grabbed onto a rail as Jara stumbled nearby. The voice screamed in his mind, louder than ever. "Now, now!" Kale realized the core needed direct contact. He stepped onto a platform that had begun to lift slightly from the shaking floor. With a deep breath, he reached out, letting the alien energy course through his gloves. A shock ran through him, but instead of pain, there was understanding. The core responded to his mind, to his logic, to his human improvisation. "Jara, it's listening," he whispered. "Yes, I see it. Keep going." They were not alone in the chamber. From the shadows, alien scavengers had emerged. They were sleek, insected creatures drawn by the core's energy. They hissed and clicked, circling the humans. Their technology was advanced but not adaptable like human ingenuity. Kale realized the moment was critical. If the aliens interfered, the core could destabilize completely. Using every tool at hand, Kale improvised a barrier with energy fields and collapsing scaffolding. The scavengers recoiled, their claws sparking against the makeshift shield. He had no weapons, only brains and determination. But humans had always thrived in impossible situations. He could feel the core recognizing this, responding to his quick thinking. The tremors intensified, dust and sparks flying everywhere. Kale's mind melded further with the core's pattern, intuitively adjusting energy flows as the alien voice guided him. "Hurry, before I lose control." And then it happened. A massive quake shook the chamber, a sound like the planet itself groaning in pain. Kale stumbled but held his ground, integrating his efforts with the core's rhythms. He could see Jara mirroring his movements on her own console, their teamwork amplifying the connection. The alien scavengers, sensing the instability, backed away, unsure how to respond to the humans' unpredictability. The core pulsed brighter energy streams connecting with Kale's mind like neural pathways. For a moment he glimpsed the planet's molten heart, its raw power, and the ancient intelligence that had lain dormant for eons. Kale's heart pounded. The tremors shook everything, and the platform beneath him cracked deeper. Yet he felt confident. Human ingenuity, human instinct, human courage, they were the tools that no machine or alien could fully predict. Then, just as the core's pulse reached a fevered pitch, the ground beneath him gave a massive lurch. Kale's vision blurred. Dust choked the air. Alarms screamed, and the chamber seemed to tilt like a collapsing wave. He grasped Jara's arm, steadying himself as the alien voice screamed one final warning before fading into a soft hum. "Hold on now, integrate, survive." Kale knew this was it. The moment before total chaos. Everything depended on their next action. And as he stepped closer to the heart of the core, the platform groaning beneath him, he understood what the title had promised. The ground trembled. The fate of everyone on Erythra Prime rested on human hands and minds. For Kale, there was no turning back. Kale's hands trembled as he hovered above the core, his mind synchronized with the alien energy pulsating beneath him. The tremors had grown into full-fledged quakes, shaking the chamber violently. Dust and debris rained from the ceiling. Every structure around them groaned, and the alarms in the control room screamed in tandem with the planet's protest. Jara clung to a nearby console, sweat streaming down her face. "Kale, the stabilizers, we can't hold them much longer." He nodded even as the energy of the core coursed through his body, tickling his thoughts like electricity in water. The alien voice was calmer now, though tinged with exhaustion. "You understand, human logic, unpredictable, adaptive, stabilize now." Kale gritted his teeth and focused. He could feel the planet's energy like a living thing, a heartbeat spread through stone and metal. The core responded to his instincts, not only to calculations. It trusted him. Somehow, against the odds, humanity's adaptability had earned its confidence. The alien scavengers had retreated to the edges of the chamber, hissing and clicking in frustration. They had weapons, but their strategies were rigid. Humans, unpredictable and quick-thinking, were something they could not easily counter. Kale realized that the difference between survival and disaster wasn't brute strength. It was intuition, creativity, and courage. The tremors intensified again, and a deep rumble echoed from beneath the planet's crust. Kale glanced at Jara. "We have to move faster. The core can't hold on much longer without a complete integration. We're running out of time." Jara's hands danced across the stabilizer controls, adjusting frequencies and rerouting energy flows according to Kale's guidance. Sparks flew, and a nearby scaffolding collapsed, sending a shower of metal rods clanging to the ground. "I'm trying," she shouted over the noise, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. "Just tell me what to do next." Kale closed his eyes for a fraction of a second, focusing entirely on the rhythm of the core. He could feel its instability like a pulse in his veins. He matched his movements with the alien's flow of energy, improvising where the core's patterns faltered. "Now, Jara, shift the secondary stabilizers to Phase 3 and reroute all excess energy into the containment fields." Jara's fingers flew over the console, rerouting power through circuits that were never meant to handle such strain. Sparks erupted, and one panel melted from the heat. She gritted her teeth, refusing to let fear control her actions. Humans had survived countless impossible situations, and this was just another one. Kale felt the energy flow stabilize slightly under their combined effort. The tremors lessened for a moment, though the core still pulsed violently. Then came a massive quake that threw them off balance. Kale grabbed onto a support beam, feeling it groan under his weight. He could see cracks forming along the walls, glowing faintly as energy leaked from the planet itself. The alien voice returned in his mind, clearer now and less frantic. Almost, hold human persistence, unpredictable trust. Kale knew this was the moment to act. The core needed a direct neural link to stabilize completely, something the alien consciousness could not accomplish alone. It needed a human mind to provide adaptability and decision-making that was impossible for any pure intelligence. He drew in a deep breath and took the final step toward the heart of the core. The tremors surged once more, throwing him into Jara's path. She caught him, steadying him with a strong grip. "Kale, you're insane," she shouted, but there was admiration in her eyes. "No, we're humans," he said, pushing past fear. "And humans don't give up." With careful precision, Kale extended his gloved hands toward the core. Light leapt from its surface, wrapping around his arms like liquid fire. The energy surged into him, and for a moment he felt as if he were being torn apart. But then came clarity, a perfect understanding of the core's pattern and rhythm. The alien intelligence flowed into him, and he flowed into it. Jara watched, her hands steady on the stabilizer controls, as Kale's connection deepened. Sparks and arcs of energy erupted, but Kale remained focused. He could see the scavengers at the edges, hesitant now, unsure what to do against a human interfaced with this ancient power. Kale's mind raced, adjusting energy flows in real time, improvising faster than any machine could. The alien consciousness guided him with precise calculations, but he added intuition, creativity, and adaptability, things no intelligence, no matter how advanced, could predict. The tremors lessened, and the planet's surface began to stabilize. The core pulsed steadily, its energy harmonizing with Kale's human logic. He could feel it, the bond forming between humanity and the ancient intelligence. They were partners now, working together to prevent catastrophe. Suddenly, one of the scavengers lunged toward the controls, trying to disrupt their work. Kale reacted instinctively, sending a burst of energy that knocked the alien back without harm. Jara quickly rerouted the stabilizers to block any further interference. The scavengers hesitated, then retreated, clearly recognizing that brute force would not win against human ingenuity coupled with the core's power. Kale's vision blurred as he focused entirely on the integration. The core's energy was immense, and it flowed through him, illuminating the chamber with blinding light. He could feel every tremor, every crack, every surge. But for the first time, there was harmony. "Almost there, just a little more," Kale whispered to himself. The alien consciousness responded in his mind, calm and steady now. Human persistence, trust, balance achieved. With a final effort, Kale adjusted the stabilizers one last time, improvising a solution no one had predicted. The energy streams coalesced, flowing smoothly into the containment fields. The core's pulse slowed, no longer erratic, and the tremors faded. The walls stopped shaking, and the floor beneath them settled. Jara exhaled a long breath, collapsing against the console. We did it," she said, voice shaking with relief. Kale dropped to his knees, exhausted but alive. The core floated above them, glowing steadily, its energy now stable and harmonious. The alien consciousness spoke one final time in his mind with a tone of respect and awe. "Humans, adaptable, resilient, worthy." He looked at Jara, who was smiling through tears. "We survived," he said quietly, "because we're human." Outside the chamber, the planet itself seemed to sigh, as if acknowledging that the immediate threat had passed. The alien scavengers had fled, and the colony above remained intact, though damaged. Humans had faced a force beyond comprehension, and had emerged not only alive, but triumphant. Over the next few hours, Kale and Jara worked to secure the core fully, ensuring it would not destabilize again. Engineers and scientists arrived, awed by what they witnessed. No one had ever imagined that humans could directly interface with an alien intelligence and survive. The Colony Council arrived, their expressions a mix of disbelief and admiration. How did you do it?" one of them asked. Kale smiled faintly, though he was still weary. We listened, we adapted, we trusted each other, that's what humans do. The core pulsed quietly, its energy now under human guidance. It was no longer just a threat or a resource. It was an ally bonded to humanity in a way that no other species could match. Kale felt the connection lingering in his mind, a reminder of the trust they had earned. Days later, as the colony began to rebuild, Kale stood near the core chamber, watching the energy streams dance calmly. He realized that this moment marked a turning point for humanity. They had faced a force beyond comprehension and had prevailed not because of technology alone, but because of human ingenuity, courage, and the ability to improvise in ways no one else could. He thought of the alien's first words in his mind, the warning that had set everything in motion. "Hurry, before I lose control," Kale smiled. Humanity had not only survived, it had mastered the impossible. And in that mastery he saw a promise. No matter what challenges the universe would throw at them, humans would endure, adapt, and triumph. The core glowed softly, a living monument to the power of human ingenuity. And for the first time in millennia, the planet itself seemed calm, as if it understood that humans had earned a place among the stars not just through strength, but through their relentless creativity and courage. Kale turned to Jara. "We did it," he said again, but this time, with certainty that the words carried the weight of every human who had ever faced impossible odds. And somewhere deep inside the core, the ancient intelligence pulsed with respect, acknowledging a species that could think, adapt, and endure in ways no other life had ever demonstrated. Humanity had prevailed. The tremors had ended, the threat was gone, and the universe would remember that humans were a force of ingenuity, courage, and hope, capable of turning catastrophe into triumph. Kale finally allowed himself to breathe. The ground no longer shook, the lights were steady, and for the first time he felt that human resilience was not just a concept. It was real, undeniable, and unstoppable. Kale and Jara thought the danger had passed. The core was stable, the tremors had ended, and the alien scavengers had fled. Yet, as Kale stood in the chamber observing the now glowing heart of Erythra Prime, a subtle vibration tickled his senses, a hum too regular to be natural. He frowned. The planet was calm on the surface, but something deep below whispered that peace was only temporary. "Do you feel that?" he asked Jara, who was adjusting the containment fields around the core. She paused, her brow furrowed. "I thought it was just residual energy from yesterday, but yes, there's something else." The alien intelligence that had spoken to him before stirred faintly in his mind. "Alert, deeper disturbance. Beyond this chamber, you must act, human ingenuity required." Kale's stomach tightened. The core had been stabilized, but it was not the only energy source hidden beneath the planet. For millennia, Erythra Prime had harbored multiple dormant systems, each one more dangerous than the last. Yesterday, humanity had merely survived one of them. Today, they might face another. Without hesitation, Kale activated the communications system. "Council, we need an emergency team. There's another energy source deeper underground and it's unstable. If we don't act, the whole colony could be at risk." The council was shocked. "We thought the core was the only threat," one official said. "Are you sure?" Kale nodded firmly. "I'm certain. The readings are different, but the danger is real. We need engineers, miners, and scientists now." Within hours, a specialized team was assembled. Kale and Jara led them into the newly exposed tunnels beneath the core chamber. These passageways had never been mapped. The miners had assumed the planet's crust was solid. But the tremors yesterday had fractured the rock, revealing vast caverns glowing faintly with strange energy. The further they went, the stronger the vibrations became. The air thrummed with power, and the walls glimmered as if alive. The team moved cautiously, scanning for signs of instability. Kale could feel the energy pulsing beneath their feet, and the alien intelligence whispered guidance, helping him interpret patterns invisible to machines. "Everyone, stay close," Kale warned. "We don't know what's waiting ahead." They reached a massive chamber, far larger than the first core. At its center floated an enormous crystalline structure, radiating energy that made the floor tremble. Unlike the previous core, this one was jagged and chaotic, the energy within it wild and untamed. The alien voice resonated inside Kale's mind. "This is ancient, unstable, faster than before, human adaptability critical," Jara gasped. "How do we stabilize something like that?" "It's huge and it's alive in a different way than the first core." Kale clenched his fists. We do what humans do best. We adapt, we improvise, and we work together. Let's get to it." The tremors began immediately, shaking the chamber violently. Dust and small rocks fell from the ceiling, and the floor cracked beneath their boots. Kale and Jara quickly set up the stabilizers, but it was clear that conventional methods would not work. The crystal's energy responded unpredictably, fluctuating faster than any human machine could match. Kale placed his hands on the control panel, feeling the vibrations flow through him. The alien consciousness whispered again, more urgent than ever. "Merge, integrate, human intuition. Only humans can balance this." He took a deep breath, remembering the previous encounter with the first core. Yesterday, it had been fear, chaos, and improvisation. Today, they had a plan, a combination of technology and human instinct, strengthened by teamwork. Kale stepped closer to the crystal. The energy surged, and he felt it brush against his mind, testing him. His pulse quickened, but he focused. Every instinct, every decision had to be precise. Jara mirrored his movements at the stabilizer controls, adjusting frequencies as Kale directed her. Suddenly, the crystal pulsed violently, throwing the team off balance. Sparks flew from their equipment, and one of the stabilizers collapsed under the strain. Kale realized that unlike the first core, this energy source was not a single intelligence. It was a chaotic system, fragmented and wild, almost like a storm contained within rock. He shouted, "Jara, we have to synchronize. Follow my lead, but think creatively. Humans can solve this in ways no machine or alien can predict." She nodded, her fingers flying over the controls. Together, they created a rhythm, matching human intuition with alien guidance. Each adjustment calmed a portion of the energy, but the rest surged unpredictably. One of the junior engineers, Ravi, pointed to a section of the chamber wall that was glowing brighter than the rest. "That side is out of phase. If we don't redirect it, it could destabilize everything." Kale analyzed the readings. The crystal's energy was spreading in patterns he had never seen before. Machines could not compute it fast enough, but humans could recognize patterns intuitively. "We'll create a feedback loop," he said. "Use the energy flow to calm itself, redirect it gradually. It won't respond to brute force, only subtlety and adaptation." The team worked together, improvising solutions in real time. Kale guided them, not with rigid orders, but with instincts honed from the first encounter. Each human decision was unpredictable, and the energy began to respond, slow and measured. The crystal pulsed again, stronger than ever. The floor quaked beneath them. Kale could feel the raw power of Erythra Prime's ancient energy system, like a living storm contained in stone. He placed his hand on the control panel, focusing every thought and instinct. "Merge with me," he whispered to the alien consciousness, "and let's stabilize this together." Light surged through Kale's gloves, running into his mind and blending with the alien guidance. He could see the crystal's patterns, chaotic yet rhythmic, like a storm that needed a steady hand. He directed the team with confidence, improvising adjustments faster than the machines could process. Jara followed perfectly, her actions unpredictable to any algorithm, yet perfectly synchronized with Kale's instincts. The junior engineers and miners mirrored their decisions, adapting in real time. Together, they formed a web of human intuition interfacing with alien energy, a system that no alien could anticipate and no machine could replicate. Gradually, the chaotic pulses slowed. The crystal's energy began to stabilize, responding to their collective ingenuity. Sparks diminished, tremors lessened, and the chamber itself seemed to settle. Kale took a step back, his body trembling from the strain of maintaining the connection. "Keep monitoring," he said, breathing heavily. "It's stable, but we need to make sure it stays that way." The alien consciousness spoke inside his mind, calm and awed. "Humans extraordinary, adaptable, persistent, worthy," Jara smiled through exhaustion. "We did it again," Kale nodded. "We did, and this time we know more. Humans aren't just survivors, we're problem solvers. We thrive where others fail." Outside the chamber, the planet seemed to respond. The energy that had threatened destruction now flowed in balance, as if acknowledging the humans who had stabilized it. The colony above remained intact, and the alien scavengers had vanished, deterred by the humans' unpredictability. Kale knew this was more than a victory. It was proof that humanity could face incomprehensible challenges and succeed, not with brute force, but with ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. Over the next days, Kale, Jara, and their team fully integrated the crystal's energy into the colony's systems, creating a stable and renewable source of power. The alien consciousness remained, dormant but respectful, a living reminder of humanity's unique capabilities. The council, once skeptical, now regarded Kale and his team with awe. "How did you accomplish this?" one official asked. Kale smiled faintly, exhaustion etched on his face. "We listened, we adapted, we trusted each other. That's what humans do best." From that day forward, Erythra Prime became a beacon of human ingenuity. Other colonies across nearby star systems took note. Humans had not only survived an unimaginable threat, they had mastered it, turning potential disaster into triumph. Kale walked along the stabilized chambers, observing the energy flows dancing calmly. He remembered the first warning, "Hurry, before I lose control." Humanity had faced that moment twice, each time emerging stronger. He knew the universe held more challenges, more unknowns, more powers that could shake entire worlds. But now, Kale understood the truth of human strength. It wasn't machines, weapons, or numbers. It was creativity, adaptability, courage, and teamwork. And with that knowledge, he smiled. No matter what came next, humans would endure, they would adapt, they would triumph. The planet's energy pulsed in harmony, a living testament to human persistence. Erythra Prime stood as proof that no matter how ancient or powerful the challenge, humans could rise to meet it, and that their ingenuity was a force even the universe had to respect. Kale looked at Jara and the team, his heart swelling with pride. "We did it," he said softly, though the weight of their achievement made the words feel monumental. Humanity did it. The tremors had ended, the threats had been met. And somewhere deep beneath Erythra Prime, the ancient energy rested, balanced, and alive, forever a reminder that humans, in all their imperfection and unpredictability, were extraordinary. Kale had barely begun to catch his breath when the alien intelligence stirred again. The core beneath Erythra Prime had been stabilized twice, yet a subtle vibration now pulsed through the planet, faint but persistent. The energy seemed alive in a new way, restless, as though it had more to reveal. "Kale," Jara said, her voice tinged with worry. "Something is different. The readings aren't just residual tremors, it's reacting." He frowned, staring at the monitors. The data was chaotic, more complex than before. Waves of energy pulsed in multiple directions, intertwining and shifting patterns faster than any sensor could follow. "This is unexpected," the alien intelligence whispered in his mind. "Human adaptability required beyond previous efforts." Kale's pulse quickened. He realized that the core and the crystal had not been the only ancient energies beneath the planet. Something else, something older and far more volatile, had awakened. He activated the comms. "Council, we need an advanced team immediately. This is bigger than anything before. We need engineers, scientists, miners, everyone capable of improvising. This is not a drill." The council hesitated, shocked by the urgency in Kale's voice. "We thought the previous stabilization was sufficient," one official said. Kale shook his head. "It was temporarily. But the planet has more energy sources. They are ancient, intelligent, and unstable. If we ignore them, the colony and possibly the entire system could be destroyed." Within hours, a team larger and more diverse than before assembled. Kale and Jara led the way, descending into newly exposed tunnels that stretched even deeper than the previous chambers. The air vibrated with raw energy, and the walls shimmered as if alive. Every step seemed to hum with anticipation. As they advanced, the team encountered strange formations, rock structures glowing faintly, almost pulsating, as if the planet itself was trying to communicate. Kale paused, letting his hands brush over the nearest wall. The energy responded, rippling through his gloves and into his mind. Human logic, adaptive, necessary. They reached a colossal chamber, far larger than anything they had seen. At its center floated a massive orb of energy, swirling in chaotic patterns, almost like a storm contained in glass. The vibrations were stronger, shaking the floor with a force that could collapse tunnels at any moment. Kale stepped forward carefully. This is the source of the disturbance," he said, awe in his voice. "We need to stabilize it before it destabilizes everything around it." Jara glanced at the orb, her eyes wide. "It's alive, and it's aware of us." Kale nodded. "Exactly, that's why humans are the key. No machine, no alien could respond the way we can. Our adaptability, our intuition, that's what can balance this." The team began setting up stabilizers, but Kale quickly realized that conventional methods wouldn't work. The orb's energy was too chaotic, too fast, and it shifted unpredictably. It was unlike anything they had ever encountered. "Jara, I need you to follow my lead exactly," Kale said, taking a deep breath. "We're going to merge with its energy like before, but on a larger scale. This will require every ounce of focus we have." Jara nodded, determination blazing in her eyes. "We can do this. Humans have survived impossible odds before." Kale extended his hands toward the swirling orb, letting the energy surge into him. It burned, tickled, and pressed against his thoughts, testing him. But instead of fear, he felt understanding. The orb's chaos had a rhythm, a hidden pattern that humans alone could perceive. He relayed instructions to the team, improvising as they adjusted stabilizers, rerouted energy, and countered fluctuations. Every decision required instinct as much as calculation. Every action had to anticipate the orb's next unpredictable surge. One of the miners, Lyra, pointed to a section of the chamber that was glowing intensely. "That part is unstable. If we don't redirect it, it could tear the whole structure apart." Kale analyzed the situation. Machines could not compute the solution fast enough, but human intuition could sense the orb's hidden rhythm. "We'll create a feedback loop," he said. "Use the orb's own energy to balance itself. It won't respond to force, only clever adaptation." The team worked together, improvising solutions in real time. Sparks and arcs of energy erupted around them, but Kale maintained focus. The alien intelligence whispered guidance, highlighting patterns he could follow, but the improvisation, the adaptability, the human creativity, that was all him, all them. The orb pulsed violently, shaking the chamber like a storm. Kale felt the raw power flowing into him, threatening to overwhelm his mind. But he remembered the previous victories. Humans thrived in unpredictability. Machines and aliens were limited by rules. Humans were not. "Focus," he shouted to the team. "Improvise, adapt, react." "We're humans, we do this." Each team member acted with instinct and creativity. Jara adjusted the stabilizers in ways no machine could predict. Lyra rerouted energy flows on the fly. Every movement was unpredictable yet synchronized, creating a human-driven system that interfaced with the chaotic orb. Gradually, the energy began to respond. The chaotic pulses slowed and the vibrations lessened. The orb's storm of energy coalesced, responding to the human-driven adjustments. The chamber trembled less and the walls stopped quivering. Kale took a step back, exhausted but alive. The alien consciousness spoke inside his mind, calm and reverent. "Humans, extraordinary, adaptable, capable of mastering chaos." Jara collapsed against a stabilizer console, breathing heavily. "We did it again, but it was harder this time." Kale nodded. "Yes, but humans are not defined by ease. We're defined by what we can overcome." Outside the chamber, the planet seemed to sigh, acknowledging the humans who had balanced its ancient, volatile energies. The colony above remained intact, and the alien scavengers were nowhere in sight, likely deterred by the humans' unpredictable abilities. In the following days, Kale, Jara, and the team integrated the orb's energy into the colony's systems, creating a new, stable power source. It was more than energy. It was a testament to human resilience, intelligence, and teamwork. The council, once skeptical, approached Kale. "How did you manage this? It seemed impossible." Kale smiled, exhausted but proud. "We adapted, we thought creatively, we trusted each other. That's what humans do best." The alien intelligence pulsed through the stabilized systems, no longer chaotic, now a dormant but respectful presence. It recognized humans as partners, capable of solving problems that no other life form could handle. Kale knew the significance. Humanity had faced multiple challenges beyond comprehension, and each time they had triumphed. Not because of brute strength or technology alone, but because humans were adaptable, intuitive, and persistent. As the team emerged from the chamber, sunlight from the colony above streamed into the tunnels. The planet seemed calm, as if grateful for the humans who had mastered its energies. Kale felt a profound sense of pride, not just for himself, but for humanity as a whole. Humans had faced the unimaginable and prevailed. They had merged instinct with intellect, creativity with courage, and in doing so, had transformed potential catastrophe into triumph. Kale turned to Jara, who was surveying the stabilized systems with a tired but satisfied expression. "We've done something incredible," he said softly. Yes, she replied, and it proves something. Humans don't just survive, we adapt, we overcome. And we thrive no matter the odds. The tremors had ended. The energy that had threatened destruction now flowed in harmony, a living monument to human ingenuity. Earthra Prime would stand as a beacon, proof that no challenge, no matter how ancient or volatile, was insurmountable when humans faced it together. Kale looked at the team and felt a deep surge of pride. They had done more than stabilize an ancient energy source. They had shown the universe the power of human creativity and courage. Humanity has triumphed, Kale said aloud, though his voice carried the weight of generations of struggle, persistence, and ingenuity. And we will continue to triumph. The planet pulsed quietly beneath them, a living reminder of the extraordinary force humans could be when they trusted themselves and each other. Kale smiled. No matter what challenges awaited beyond the stars, humans would endure, adapt, and prevail, always. And in that certainty he felt hope, not just for the colony, not just for Earthra Prime, but for humanity itself.